How y'all doing today? Hope y'all doing well. See, I'm gonna try to not put my big fingers in the way. Today is the first day of the week, right? In American society. Once again, we always talk about time. Time is so important. Time is so vital that we seize that moment, right? Time is so important that we seize that moment. The Creator has created a thing we call time, which allows us to reset. Time is an opportunity to allow you to reset. What's up, Gigi? How you doing? I want to share some things with you today, and I realize that we're gonna not talk so much about the homesteading, but we're gonna talk about life. Period. I'm seeing a lot of different things going around, and hey, what's up, Vanessa? How you doing? Bless up, bless up. My Renaissance grandmama, how you doing? Much love to you. Thank you for coming in. Right now it's not going to be an easy time. This live is not going to be easy. Hey Cassandra, South Fulton Garden, how you doing? Bless up, bless up. This is not going to be an easy conversation, but I think it's necessary. And the reason why I'm thinking it's necessary because every day we are faced with weighing the truth, acceptability, and lies. Lies typically generates more reassurance, more comfort. Why? I have no idea. If you go back to all the way back to the very beginning of creation of of men, that's documented in historical data, there's always been a connection with what we call truth and lies. Most people don't want the truth as a whole. Let's keep it real. Some of us, we may disagree with that, but it's true. Most of us do not really want the truth. And I'm not sure why, but I think it's the fundamental principle of your environment. And what I mean by that, it's almost like if you ever been to a place that you've never been to, right? And people selling things, people distributing things. They on the corner. Hey TLC in the garden, how you doing? They are selling different things, right? Do you think they're gonna give you every perspective of their competitors? Do you think they're gonna talk about the benefits of their competitors? Some people they do. Some people truly say, I want to share with you the strengths of my competitors, but they're gonna come back with something that's contrary, right? That's to make you feel comfortable about that purchase, right? But let's talk about a little bit deeper. Say we're talking about if the S hit the fan, right? Everybody got 50 million solutions for if it hits the fan. But the truth is most of us gonna die. And people will hate you because that's your perspective, whether we like it or not. In the state of Florida, we encounter every year storms, tornadoes, wind gusts. We encounter waves, surges, flooding, all kinds of stuff, right? And it typically happens either every year or every 5 years, one of the two, or in between. We know it's coming, but a lot of times we don't believe that it's going to affect us. What are we telling ourselves when we don't believe that? If a hurricane typically is around 100, 200 miles wide, 300 miles deep, and you see it coming out in the ocean, You watched it touch the Caribbeans, you watched it touch Mexico, you look at the devastation. And they typically say that it'll strengthen once it hit open water. But then you still don't believe that it's coming to you. Some of us are like, it's so many different things that spin in my mind. We prepping. We got generators. We put investments into our homes. We did a lot of different things to prepare. But the reality is there's going to be devastations. There's going to be death. All of us won't survive. And no one wants to talk about it. A lot of times, it's almost like this. I remember one time I was in a meeting. I was in a meeting and it wasn't necessarily connected to work, but I remember I was in a meeting and one person stood up and said, during the pandemic, I got my jab, right? And people clapped. And the people that didn't clap, do you realize that they were frowned upon? People side-eyed them. People looked at them certain ways. But that's the way that person feels, right? That's the way that person feels. So I have a iPhone right here, right? This is an iPhone. And I can ask people, 150 people, about how do you feel about that particular brand. And every single person will have what we call an opinion. Guess what that phone was designed for? Not your opinion. That phone was designed by the manufacturer. You as a human, you were here for a reason. If you think about all the million things that went against you being right here, being born, being here today, people will tell you lies to tell you what's successful in your life. But you need to know thyself, embrace thyself, learn what the manufacturer intent, whatever your belief, whatever your system of confidence, connect with what you believe or who you believe created you. Scientific osmosis did not create you. You are too intelligent, too beautiful, too amazing to believe that science, atoms, and all that stuff created you. Even a dog has intellect, has sense. And that dog was created for a reason, right? So I'm saying all of this is going to tie in. I know it's a lot to wrap around, but I want to set the platform to get you to start thinking about believing the truth over lies. So now let's talk about some things in your life. You watch people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. For y'all younger people, you like maybe Tupac, somebody Nipsey Hussle. Some people say they're not iconic. They're not amazing. Why are we still talking about them long after they're gone? When so many other people leave and no one else talks about them except for the anniversary of their death, right? There are people in your life, there are circumstances in your life that are there for a reason, and we need to pay attention. Hey, Courtney Taylor, how you doing? What I'm trying to get people to understand is start challenging the information that you receive. Start believing into your gut, your feelings. You can go into your job and people will say, good morning. How you doing? And you will say, I'm doing well. When you just realize that you had a miscarriage or your brother got locked up and got 30 years and you come and you interact with people and tell them, I'm good. Everything's good. Why do you say that? Why do you not say, I'm not doing well? Is it because you don't want to interact with them? You don't want them to judge you? You don't want them to go into the weeds? You don't want to talk about it? For whatever reason it is, you presented a lie to get past that situation. During the pandemic, my uncle, in-law, his in-laws, lost over 20 people at the beginning of the pandemic from attending a simple funeral. And age had and gender had no respect of those who lost their life, right? You can you can put things to the side. You can have insurance. You can have all the stuff, but nothing prepares you for life. No matter what you're doing, there's nothing wrong with preparing. There's nothing wrong with having a system for certain disasters, but you can't cover it all. And what I want to encourage people to do, which I don't hear a lot of, is faith. Faith, right? When you have gone to the doctor, you've been sick for months, you've gone to 5 and 6 and 10 doctors, and they tell you they can't understand what's going on. Somewhere in your process of continuing to have positive perspective, faith got to come somewhere in, right? So I'm saying we can prep all we want to. We can do all what we want to. We got to have faith. We have endurance. We got to believe that we're going to be okay. And if we're not, we got to be comfortable with the results. So going back to time, right now, you're sitting here listening to me, and I appreciate you. I thank you so much. If y'all can hit the thumbs up, that'd be great. If you can subscribe, that'd be even better. If you want to learn a little bit more about this conversation and get a little bit more in depth with life and the process of, join Eco Nation. That'll be good, right? If you just want to support, you can hit me up on Cash App, Rob the Cultivator. I said all this because a lot of people are not sharing with you the truth. The truth is, you can walk 5 miles, you can walk 10 miles. You can I can have different storage units all over this property. I can have some places that I can run and I can escape to, right? I can have all kinds of different stuff. I can grow all kinds of vegetables. But if a hurricane comes and it floods your storage units and a tornado rips apart your home, your stash box, what you gonna do then? What you gonna do then? Where you going? Your car, you can't drive out because a tree fell on it. There's things in life that we can't control. But you know what? It does not mean that we can't have the faith to know and trust that we can make it. Because I've seen people near death, but because my mom was an oncology nurse, head of oncology, I witnessed people who were considered gone in hospice or what have you, and they pulled through because they had something called inner faith. They had that faith. They had something much greater, much larger than just the current situations, right? What's up, Hudson? What's going on? I want to encourage you to start having a conversation about faith. Faith overcomes lies. The truth will stand. And the sad part about it is people, I can remember, and give you another life experience. I spent some years in the prison system. I wasn't a guard. I did the training. I did all of that stuff because in order to be there, you had to do it. But I dealt with a training program, and it was a for-profit type where we basically trained and certified and taught people that was incarcerated. We taught them job skills. We taught them a lot of different things, right? But we had to give them a real life working experience. So we did actually perform work. We ran a business. We did everything in prison. But with that said, I remember one night I was working, and typically when you work at night, you had about 2 supervisors to about 200 plus inmates at that time. It's not like that now. But at that time, that's what we had. I remember we worked in a print shop. There was knives, exo knives, exacto knives. There was a lot of different things going on, right? There's a lot of different things that could put you in harm's way. But you had to maintain the trust of the individuals. And we're not talking about people who was on work release. We're talking about people who had life and multi-life sentences. And one thing about prison is a lot of times it's very segregated, as far as races, as far as life sentences, as far as cliques, all that kind of stuff. It's almost like a small world that you can see within one compound. So in this area of the print shop, right, there was a guy that was smoking. I'm gonna just let you know what was going on. Smoking was a violation because in the dark room there was so many flammable chemicals, and there was so many things that put people. Hey, G Mama, how you doing? Hey, Annie's Kitchen and Urban Homestead. There was so many. Courtney Taylor, how you doing? There was so many people that was at risk by this guy smoking, right? But in the dark room, you had to secure the light, and typically the only light that was acceptable was a red light. But I remember to enter into this brick room, there was a door, and it was a carousel door. You had to stand in that door, and you had to roll yourself around it. And what I did, I stood in that door, and I rolled the carousel door, and it opened up to a dark room. And he was the only one in there, and I could see his cigarette light. And they used to roll. A lot of people roll. They didn't do the. Some people that had money had great people to support them on the outside. They smoked real name brand cigarettes, but the majority of the population roll their own cigarettes, right? And it has a distinct smell, and it's strong. And when I open up the room, right, it's dark, it's pitch black, but I see his cigarette and I see his finger puffing on the cigarette. And this guy who had multiple lifetime, everybody in that area had life sentences, or they had murder sentences, or child molestation sentences. It was, I don't know, it was a combination between the two, right? But I literally walked in there, and the dude put the cigarette out, no smoke, and I flipped on the light, right? I didn't care about destroying the film or none of that stuff, but I turned on the light because I was just checking, making sure everything's good, because we've had some things that really, I could have 15 million stories on things that happen when you're trying to maintain 200 plus people, and it's only a couple of you, and then you got a, most of the time you had relaxed super that really allowed them to get away with it. And he put, I don't know what, addressed him. And I said, I called him by his name, and I said, why are you in here smoking? You know you're not supposed to be in here smoking. He said, smoking? I'm not smoking. What are you talking about, smoking? And before I knew it, within a 20-minute conversation, I no longer believed what I saw. There's some mind controlling people that can change your mind on a lot of different things. And what I'm trying to communicate to you is there's forces out there that we can't control. And before the end of that exchange, I didn't even know whether he was smoking or not. And I'm not talking about someone that's weak brain, weak minded. I smelt it, I saw it, and I had a conversation with him. But there are forces out there that you can't control. You can't control the interaction. You can't control none of that stuff. But what I'm trying to tell you, or try to communicate to you, is that you are here for a reason, and people will lie to you and tell you you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. You weren't created to do this. The crazy thing about it, all of those are opinions. And most of those opinions are weighted on their personal life experience and not yours. It's great to take advice, it's great to take wisdom, but always lean toward you and the Creator. Always be connected to you and the Creator. Understand why you're here. Because that same iPhone, if I only used 5 of the 100 of tools and options it had. And I was the best at that 5, and the world recognized me for those 5 uses, right? They would call me an expert, but it got 100 uses because the manufacturer, the creator, had 100 uses on this phone, right? But I was the best at the 5, and no one ever did the 5. I'm considered the expert and the most knowledgeable, right? But what if you tried 6 or 7 or 10 or some of those functions that were outside of that expert? Then you would be considered, people say you lying, you don't know what you're talking about. What's your education background? What's your historical background? It's the same thing with life, y'all. People, Midnight Green, how you doing? People will try to diminish your capabilities, your strength, and your purpose. Don't believe the lies. Don't believe the lies. When you know something is not right, taking your child to the doctor, you going to the doctor, you take your mother, your parents, to the doctor, and you know something ain't right, listen to it. Question it. Understand, when you question, when you challenge something, you're going to meet opposition. And if you go vocal or you go on a worldwide perspective, you're going to be considered as a liar, insane, crazy. But the funny thing is, Gigi put it up earlier, that the truth will reveal itself. The truth was at the end of the day. And if we're going to be contributors to the betterment of men and each other, and when I say men, I'm not talking about a man far as a man, I'm talking about mankind. When we're talking about truly empowering each other and transitioning to another level, coming up with solutions to the problem. My great friend Led always say, I don't want to hear about the problem. I get tired of hearing about the problem. Let's hear about some solutions. In order to find solutions, you're going to have opposition. You're going to have problems. You're going to meet a lot of friction. People are going to tell you things that's going to try to get you off the mark. But let me tell you, my friend, you're here for a reason. You're here to solve a problem. And certain problems that knock on your door, that aggravate you. I remember my mama used to embarrass me so much. No. Something is not quite right. She's going back to the store or back to the manager. She's going to question that situation. And then I was like, no. But now I understand. I respect it. In order to invoke change, you have to challenge that situation. In order to allow things to progress, to transition to something better, you're going to meet opposition. Can you prepare for everything in life? No. But somehow you got to depend on faith. Because faith, parting the Red Sea, changing, creating, whether you agree with civil rights or not, getting people out of slavery. Somebody had a dream, freeing people from slavery. Doing the first, this week was in South Africa. The first was a historical time where, I think it was in the 60s or the 70s, was the first time someone did a successful open heart surgery on a human being. This week in time. Y'all Google it. And it was in South Africa. When you think about problems and solutions, do you think about South Africa based on the world and the news? With heart transplant? Most of the time, when you see or think about Africa or anything like that, you think about disease, you think about poor, poverty. You don't think about innovation. You don't think about ingenuity. You don't think about resources. You don't think about minerals and all of that. It's rich, knowledge, full of wisdom. It's the origin of man. Think about that, because you've been bamboozled to think it must be so bad to live over there. It must be so awful. Same thing about a certain side of your town. There's good people in a certain side of the town. Let's stop. Let's challenge. Let's challenge and ask questions. Another life scenario, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. I've been in an environment that dealt with me providing for my family, right? It's called a job, yeah. I've been at a job situation where this individual was highly respected, right? The position of this person had no power whatsoever. And if anything or anyone was in that position, they would not be highly regarded and respected. But this individual was praised by the person that was in charge, right? They were honored and worshiped in so many ways by the person that was in charge. So it gave them validation to be whoever they want to communicate any kind of way that they want to other people. And this person was a little bit older than most people that was at the job, including myself. This person was supposed to be an aid, a support to everyone, but this person had attitudes. If you question things that didn't go right, they became offensive. They tried to control the narrative and the communication, right? And then here it is where one time I was personally challenged. They said some things in a way that was very disrespectful to me. And it was kind of like they was almost talking down on me. What I did, I reciprocated. Nothing disrespectful, but I reciprocated their energy. And that's the thing about energy. Everything we do, whether you can only get up and blink your eyes, whether you can only breathe, whatever, you create energy. From a smile in your eyes to a frown to disappointment, you create energy. And there's a response to that. So her energy was very, but it wasn't work wrong. But I gave them that reciprocation of that energy, and they became offended. They became the victim when they initiated that negative energy. I wasn't upset, wasn't mad. I just reciprocated it, right? Then all of a sudden, I become a problem. I become disrespectful. And because she formed a tribe, I became an enemy to that tribe, right? Now, everything in the way I move, I have to move a certain way because of that individual was addressed the same way that they addressed me. People will hate you. They try to kill you for giving them the truth. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King started dealing with the truth. Malcolm X started dealing with the truth. And I'm using these big names so you can connect with it. Here we are with people who have served multiple decades in prison for nothing because they just spilled the truth. They just shared and unveiled the truth. What I'm trying to share with you is people will turn your truth into lies, and people turn lies into truth. And it's all based on them feeling warm and feeling fuzzy. But understand, the more truth you communicate, the more truth that you share, the more opposition you're going to face. So be ready for it. Have the faith to know that it's going to take you through it. Have the faith to know that when you expose the truth, you're exposing wounds, vulnerability. You're exposing imperfections to people, to organizations, to things that want to be perceived as and whole and strong. Your goal may not be to tear it down. Your goal is just to live in truth. Sometimes we just want to live in truth. We don't want no problems. We just want to live in truth. And we want the best for the people that's coming behind us. We care more about them sometimes than we care about ourselves because we already played into that system of being lied to and played into the, how you doing today? I'm doing great today. And you feeling like crap. Do you mind working on this project? No, I don't mind working on this project. Do you mind going over here and pick this up? Nah, I don't mind going over there and pick this up. Do you mind doing this and doing that? No, I don't mind. But in reality, you do. Oh, I hope I didn't offend you. If I offended you, and why did that conversation come up? I hope I didn't offend you. And if I offended you, only if I offended you, I'm sorry. Are you really sorry? And then I say, I hope I didn't offend you. Why would you even come up with that conversation? Why would that even be in the conversation? You know you offended me. You know you said some things that hurt me. Whether you intended it or not, you know you did it. And the fact that you know you did it, you become the victim and spin it around and say, if I offended you, I'm so sorry. Ooh-wee. People are selfish. They don't expect for you to stand up. You're right. People don't expect for you to stand up for yourself. And I'm not making this a racial thing, but most of my audience, whether I don't, it's almost like when I was a photographer. When I was a photographer, I would give away. I'm just keeping transparent. When I was a photographer, entrepreneur, not just photographer, it's different business, landscaping, everything. I really wanted to tap in and I wanted to have a diverse range of customer base as far as business. And in the South, most things that you deal with is race related, whether we like it or not. It always connect to it. And if you're African American, you're gonna always be connected to race because that's a big opposition, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not. If you walk into a room and you see 100 people, right? And then you see somebody from your hometown or somebody that you know, and the rest of the people you don't know, you're gonna typically speak to that person that you know, especially if you were cool with them, right? The same thing about the world, same thing about America, right? I would work my behind off to try to get. I did free photo shoots, $200, $500 photo shoots, just to ask if I could just advertise and show the results of the photo shoot. I had opportunities to connect with some people that on high levels. Typically, the more high level, the more I got, I got ganked. All these executives and high level people, they shrewd business people. They like, you should be privileged to do something with me. But I took pictures of little cute little people that weren't my culture, weren't my color, right? No support. Beautiful photographs, beautiful setups. But the only people that supported me was my people. I didn't choose that. It's almost like burial in church. You know, back when I grew up, people of color buried people of color. People that were European descent, they buried people that were European descent. And as we navigate in life, sometimes we don't get to decide the reaction of others. And I'm saying that to tie into, I'm speaking to my beautiful, amazing brothers and sisters, that it's a time and a place for entertainment. It's a time and a place for getting along. But it's a time and a place for standing up for truth. It's a time and a place for not accepting what you know you deserve. And in that process, you may become the martyr, or you may become the piece that have to suffer the majority of the pain. But know that you're doing it for a better cause and for movement and for progress. Know that you're doing that. And know that no matter what, know that truth will always prevail. Know that truth will always prevail. Know that truth will always prevail. You were not built on opinions. You are not guided by opinions. No one knows your reason. No one knows your purpose. But your purpose is your purpose. Whether it's your mother, your father, your auntie, your grandmama, your sister, all they can do is share their experiences and their outcomes. And it's up to you to take that information and process it. And when you take that information, process it, make your decision based on what's best for you. People will call you selfish. People will call you greedy. People will call you all kinds of things. But they don't see the beginning and the end, right? They don't see your influence to the world. They don't see your heart. They don't see your intentions. They don't see your morals. But all they do is give you their opinions, right? And the worst thing you could do is live your life based on other people's opinions and not your purpose and why you're here. Growing what I eat. What's going on? Bless up. The worst thing you could do is live a whole life, 100 years, 70 years, 30 years, 25 years, for somebody else. It's not worth it. And are you really living in your purpose? How do you find your purpose? By listening to what's best for you after processing wisdom and knowledge. Process it, churn it. It's like that cow. That cow go out there and eat that grass, and eat that grass, and eat that grass. And then the cow eventually goes up underneath the tree and sit down, and he regurgitates it, and he breaks it down. And guess what the stomach does? The stomachs are chambers where they take only the good stuff, only the stuff that's necessary for life, and it lets go all the rest. The kidneys do the same thing. It's just looking. It's going through all kinds of stuff. And that's the thing about life. We go through all kinds of stuff. But we should be looking for what's best for us to survive and flourish. We should be focused on sifting through life and sifting through, Brother Lawrence, what's going on? We should be sifting through all of the mess in life. And yes, it's aggravating. Yes, it's frustrating. But then it's like certain things, a certain people, a certain organization will bring you stuff to process. Eventually, you need to be to the part, okay, every time this shipment comes in, garbage. We rejecting this shipment. It's not even coming in. Every time this individual keeps coming to me, it's garbage. I got enough stuff to sift in life that I don't need this. Let us not be in agreement to accepting and lying, to be peaceable with people who don't even care for us. Let us understand our reason, our purpose, so we won't have to waste our time with distractions to keep us from living our life and our purpose. So at the end of the day, focus on I was born, I survived hell, I survived a good life, I survived positive people, I survived negative people, I survived rapists, I survived molestation, I survived crack, I survived cocaine, I survived all these different things, right? But why? Why you survived it? Why you even had to go through that? You had to go through that for a reason. Learn the reason and live in that reason. Because can't nobody tell you and argue with you what you've been through, right? Can't nobody tell you what you've been through. What's up, Veggie? How you doing? Can nobody tell you or argue with you about what you've been through? Lorena, how you doing? Oh, that palm tree. No one. Understand that because no one can do that. That's your truth. Embrace it, live in it, share with others, let them process it. Don't try to control them. Accept their ending opinion. Audrey, how you doing? Accept it. Embrace it. Because that's the way they feel, that's the way they process it. Let's stop being so judgmental of other people. And let's embrace the creativity of each other. And let's build upon it. And let's use these as strength for unity. And unity for forward motion. If somebody likes to always be in the kitchen, let them feed the fam. Let them feed the tribe. If someone likes to kill, channel that energy to bringing something home that we can harvest and eat, whether it's a plant, whether it's an animal, you know. Find the beauty and the strength in our talents and embrace them. And motivate others to channel those energies in a positive fashion. Y'all, I hope y'all have a continued, beautiful, successful day. May this week be abundance of opportunities. Every week, every day, every second, there's opportunities all the way around us, but it's up to us to enjoy it. The reason why we say good morning or grand rising is what? Because it presents an opportunity. Take hold, embrace those opportunities. Stop focusing on the negative. Focus on the positive. And what's the positive? The positive is you and your mindset and the way you process information. And if you can sift it and process it in a way that's going to benefit you, and benefits has nothing to do with something you warm, you love, it's cozy, it's warm, it's inviting. Benefits has nothing to do with that. Most healthcare benefits come in a time of what? Need and disparity. A lot of your benefits will come in opposition. A lot of your benefits will show up in a point at your most vulnerable time in your life. A lot of your knowledge that you will obtain will come in the midst of adversity. A lot of your wisdom will be cultivated through the trials and the tribulations that you overcome. And when you absorb and embrace those challenges, you will find solutions which will make you valuable to others. And when you find solutions that will make you valuable to others, guess what happens? You will never need, you will never want. And I'm not talking about physical, tangible stuff. I'm talking about stability in life. Because at the end of the day, if a nuke dropped tomorrow, right? I got a Bentley in the garage. Who cares? You can't even drive it on the road, right? Who cares if I got diamond gold chains? Who cares if I hit the world record fastest man in the world? Who cares if I'm the richest boxer in the world? If it hit the fan, who cares? But you know what matters? Those that are around you, those that survive, that you could be a resource, an inspiration, a problem solver to who you are around. And sometimes that's just words. Sometimes that's encouragement. Sometimes that's a smile. Sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's providing resources. So be encouraged to know that you are here for a reason. You survived this thing called life up to now in 2022, the last month of 2022. And understand that some of us won't make it. I did a live letting you know the majority of death occurs at the end and the beginning, either January or December. Look around, whether you're in the car, whether you're at the airport, whether you're at home, whether you're online right now in the chat, look around. Some of these people will not be here. So take the time to honor and to cherish them and embrace them and make that interaction with them the best interaction you can ever make, because we meet so many people on a daily basis, interact, and we don't really respect and honor that thing called life. So honor, respect that thing called life, embrace it, love it, and know that this is an opportunity to uplift and to encourage and empower them to be their very best that they can be. Not you thinking what they should be, but by giving them the support to allow them to be the very best that they can be. Y'all be blessed. Much love. Love y'all. Linda Holmes, how you doing? Good to see you. Y'all take care. Miss Native Cherokee, always good to see you. Much love. Y'all take care. And don't forget, this is not just a saying, y'all. I'm serious. Every situation you go through, not just in the garden, but in life, continue to grow. Let these oppositions, these challenges, job loss, um, financial issues, health, let these things be an opportunity for you to grow. You may be going through a situation and you may could change the life of somebody that may be your caregiver. Positivity is power. Truth is power. So y'all radiate nothing but positivity and look for opportunities to share and to build each other, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Don't forget to keep on growing. Grow.